This is Morten from INKISH. We are still at CERM's booth, and as I said just before when we spoke with Matt, it has been an amazing presentation I've just seen. It's about a British label printing company and converter that is called Mercian, and basically what they're doing is they have the wish, as we all have, to have lights out production. I'm now talking to Stuart from Screen, because you have been an immense part of this project, right?
Yeah, we have. As I said earlier, we're the meat in the sandwich, really. Adrian had a very clear vision of what he wanted to do. And it sort of started, obviously, with CERM, and then you need to finish the labels at the end. So we were sort of, the method that was producing the print. So Adrian came to us with a list of requirements and targets to hit, and we had to go through, check we could tick them, and implement them.
And do you think that choosing a Screen as a print supplier in this particular case is a game changer?
It's Adrian's first inkjet machine, so for him it's a game changer. I mean, obviously we've sold a lot of these machines, over 100 in Europe, and Adrian wanted to push a little bit harder on the technology usage that we could use. But we were always confident that inkjet would be a great choice for him, and hopefully in the future, because the integration that we've done will mean that if he wanted to have a second or a third or a fourth machine, we could just plug and play.
And that is of course nice, because I mean, with labor shortage and increasing salary prices, the more you can minimize touch points, the more you can utilize technology. Of course, that is like, I think it's I wouldn't say it's a dream, because it's become more like a necessity now, right?
Yeah, this is what digital's always been about. It's all about reducing the risk, reducing the risk between one operator and another, allowing people to have the luxury of not having to make difficult decisions about a job, whether to run a job or not, how to run it, how much extra to run, and how long it's going to take.
One of the things that was mentioned in the presentation was the importance of having both finishing device and printing device that could have two ways communication with the MIS system. Is that unique to how you do things, or is it more like something that is to expect today from a modern printing press? Or?
Well, when JDF was first envisaged, I don't know, it's probably too many years ago. Yeah. Everyone always thought that this is what it should be, and it had to start somewhere, and it logically was going to start with MIS, because that was the most computerized.
And that also where the data often is born, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you sort that out and you've sort of, you realize your estimation systems are working well, then the next minute you look at your press. And with analog presses, with making plates, with a make ready, which is a very human part of flexo printing, it was harder to do. But as soon as digital came along, all that data was there. And so then the next thing is obviously just to push it to the next step with finishing, and who knows what it could encompass.
I'm sure you have some ideas where it could go, right?
Yeah, but we'll be led by what our customers want.
Of course, yeah. And what I understand is basically that, and I say basically in quotation, is that when the job is being produced, there's generated a QR code that basically enables the further...
Yeah, that was the differentiator. That was what Adrian asked us for, that we haven't been asked for before. Lots of people want the data for the costings and whatever, but we needed to transfer the data then to the finishing. So we needed to generate a unique QR code for each SKU, and it would be printed on the end of the job. Or if it was an inline system, it could be printed at the start of the job, and we did that using the lead-in, lead-out functionality of the machine to help set up the finishing, again, to reduce waste, downtime.
And you mentioned that you have to take into consideration that not all substrates are white.
No. So that was it was maybe a later challenge that our guys had to get to grips with, but on a silver material, the QR code has to be read by the ABG, and on a silver material that might be trickier to pick up, so we had to add a white box behind it. So our guys like the challenge of having to do something a bit different, and the good thing is all the work they've put in at this stage can now be replicated for other potential users. You know, I mean, hopefully this is something that Adrian was the first to ask us for, but many more people are going to ask us for.
Yeah, and I think they will, because I mean, as we've talked about, it's a growing market. There's coming more and more SKUs. There is more and more personalization to it, and basically that will require a whole other level of automation in order to really get things going, right?
I think a lot of everything we do in life now is just in time. You know, companies don't want to hold lots of stock, so things like run lengths vary dramatically. If you've got a SKU that's related to a product that isn't so fast moving, you can kill it quickly and replace it with something that will be more profitable.
And another thing that I also liked in the presentation, there was a comparison, some photos before and after, right? And that was like 2 hours of saving. That was like an enormous saving in time on that particular job that was shown, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
But that also, I mean, I take that as a huge advantage for Screen as a company, because that basically means that it liberates time or free up time for more print and for more utilization of the machine, so you can basically have a better, higher revenue on the machines, right?
Yeah, and I mean, our inkjet machines are fabulously consistent. The joy of them is that you put the roll of material on, you start it printing, and it runs the roll. And there's nothing you can do while that's happening. So it frees up the operator to go and do something else. Maybe he can go and find the material for his next job, or maybe he's the guy that's going to set up the finishing.
Fantastic. Last question. Did you and Mercian, of course you work with Mercian, but have you worked with CERM and APG on anything similar to this in the past?
Yes, we have. I mean, in Europe, we've got a lot of CERM users that are using L350s, and some of them, I mean, one of them's got up to 5 machines. So working with CERM wasn't something new to us. The challenge that Adrian gave us was a step further.
Always fun to be challenged, right?
And it's worked.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
No
and thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot, Morton.